If your worship of God, whether it's private or in a corporate setting, is focused so much on making it convenient for you, then I fear that worship might not actually be happening, that praise isn't happening if it isn't costly. Hello and welcome back to the Worship Devotional. Last week we looked at Psalm 100 verse 4 and how we are to enter his gates with thanksgiving. Today we're going to look at the other part of that verse, enter his courts with praise. These are the keys to get your heart in the posture where you're in communion with God the Father. So thanksgiving is just offering him thanks. Praise is glorifying who he is. Hebrews 13:15 says this, "Through him let us continually offer up a sacrifice of praise to God, that is the fruit of lips that give thanks to his name." So we're offering praise and worship to him with our lips. But I want to hone in on the word sacrifice because it says sacrifice of praise. If you've been attending church for any period of time, then you've probably noticed, or maybe you haven't, that a lot of worship services tend to focus on removing distractions, especially during the singing portion, and making everything as convenient as possible. And I can't help but wonder if this is kind of getting around a sacrifice. This applies to both your personal life in your personal worship time at home and when you're in a congregational setting. The question I ask myself is, am I sacrificing something? I love leading worship. One of the main reasons is I can't phone it in. I can't kind of lead worship. If I have a guitar and I have a microphone, then I am in a position where I have to worship. I have to sing. I have to put my all into it. I find that sometimes if I'm sitting, I can sit, a little bit towards the back and I can sing a little softer, but the Lord doesn't let me get away with that very often. Listen to this story. I read this before, but I'm going to read a little bit more of it from 2 Samuel chapter 24. David was instructed to purchase a threshing floor and make a sacrifice to God so that he would stay his hand from the children of Israel. Listen to this, 2 Samuel 24, verses 21 through 24. Then Araunah, this is the man who owns the threshing floor, then Araunah said, "Why has my lord the king come to his servant?" And David said, "To buy the threshing floor from you, in order to build an altar to the Lord, that the plague may be held back from the people." Araunah said to David, "Let my lord the king take and offer up what is good in his sight. Look, the oxen for the burnt offering, the threshing sledges, and the yokes of the oxen for the wood. Everything, O king, Araunah gives to the king." And Araunah said to the king, "May the Lord your God accept you." However, the king said to Araunah, "No, but I will surely buy it from you for a price, for I will not offer burnt offerings to the Lord my God, which cost me nothing." There lies the secret. And I'm going to define sacrifice in this context as inconvenience. If your worship of God, whether it's private or in a corporate setting, is focused so much on making it convenient for you, then I fear that worship might not actually be happening, that praise isn't happening if it isn't costly, if there isn't an element of inconvenience. Think about the discipline of giving, whether tithing or giving to poor or anything like that. It costs something. In the same way, praise needs to cost something. Worship needs to cost me something. And the way that I get around this, the way that I address this rather, not get around it, when I feel a prompt from the Lord, and maybe you felt this before too, to raise your hands, to dance, to sing louder, to shout, whenever I hear that, and there's that part of my mind, the flesh that says, no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to raise your voice. There's one thing that I think of, and after I tell you this, you won't have any excuse because it's going to be stuck in your head. These 3 words, is he worthy? If he's worthy, then he gets every sacrifice that I can make to him. And he is worthy. So the worship song for today is He Worthy? Played by Shane and Shane. God bless you, and may you offer up continual sacrifices of praise to the Lord of hosts.